Hi, this is Boris. Welcome to Movie Messenger. I watched the movie Incredibles 2 just as I planned, and I loved it. I think it's even better, more relevant, and more sophisticated than the first one, which is really rare for sequels, so hats off to writer-director Brad Bird. The main cast from the first movie is back with the voices of Craig T. Nelson as Bob Parr, Mr. Incredible, Holly Hunter as Helen Parr, Elastigirl, Sarah Vowell as Violet, Hulk Milner as Dash, and Samuel L. Jackson as Lucius, aka Frozone. Spoiler alert, if you have not watched the movie and you don't want it to be spoiled, please stop now, because I'm going to tell the story in short and reveal the twists before jumping to the analysis. So the movie starts right where the first movie ended. They fight the villain known as Underminer. They save the day, but since superheroes are illegal, they get arrested. Due to their situation and worried about their children's future, the Incredibles accept to meet with a billionaire Winston Deaver, who wants to make the superheroes legal again. Elastigirl is chosen as the first superhero who will be monitored with a camera in her suit to show the superhero's perspective, while Bob, Mr. Incredible, is left at home to take care of the kids. Elastigirl saves a train crash and the villain known as Screenslaver is revealed. He can freeze people's minds through screens since screens are everywhere. After investigation, it is revealed that Evelyn Deaver, the billionaire sister, is the Screenslaver. She blames superheroes for giving hope to her father, who preferred to call the superheroes than to use the safe house when their house was broken into. And this resulted in the father's murder. And Evelyn's mother died a few months after that from heartbreak. Elastigirl is captured by Evelyn, who wants to use the technology to control the superheroes to prevent them from becoming legal again. Bob, who goes to save his wife, gets captured too, and it's up to the children now, including the standout of the film, Jack, the baby, to save their parents and ultimately save the day with the help of Frozone and other superheroes who came out of their hiding. And that's summarizes the movie, the story of the movie. Of course, there are subplots I haven't talked about, but let's go to the fun stuff, meaning the analysis of the movie. Before I go any further, of course, I have to address the fact that people complain about others who spend too much time on their smartphones. I know, but that is the reality. Just because the others are doing that doesn't stop you from doing whatever you want to do in your life. So, which brings me to my first point. Technology as power. The movie comments on our obsession on screens. This is done not only through the villain Screenslaver, but throughout the movie. For example, they show that Jack the baby is already obsessed with TV and uses his powers to escape from his crib to watch movies, paralleling the fact that small children are becoming familiar with screens very early in our society. We get most of information daily through screens, so there's a reality which is packaged in sort of by mass media into tidbits which don't really necessarily reflect the reality. In the movie, superheroes protect the city from villains, but what the media shows to the public is the aftermath to get to people to pay attention, because bad news is news, good news is not news. So Winston wants to use the technology to show in real time the perspective from the superhero's point of view, to show the reality as it is, not as it is sold. They even play with this reality versus perceived reality in the movie. Even Evelyn says that she's the creator and Winston, her brother, is the salesperson. Even if he sells it to support superheroes who want to do good, he still uses his technology to influence people. So, technology has power.
I've also noticed something that is reminiscent of something that I've come across in recent days when it comes to media. This part is called old media, this is new media. So, I don't know if you noticed, so I was born in 86, and I grew up watching cartoons on TV. And now I can say that I do have TV at home, but I never watch it. Most of the time I just spend, if I want to watch something, I watch it on YouTube. So I have to say, like, there is a change in the media that we consume. So for example, something happens and it is sold to us in form of clickbaity content. When you follow mass media, they want to distill so much information on such short time that it feels like the world is going to end. But in fact, we are safer than we have ever been in the world. For me, this fight between the government, the mass media, the police force versus the private corporation, DevTech, the technology invented by Evelyn and the superheroes, reminds me of the battle between traditional media and free online content, like, for example, long-form podcasts, for example. There was also a moment in the end when the superheroes were brainwashed and mind-controlled by Evelyn when they had the glasses and they said, "We serve only ourselves." And this idea immediately popped into my head, where the movie is actually commenting in a bit on, or reminding us in a way, the fear that we have of AI. Of course, there are different schools of thoughts. Some people are really scared of this, that whether self-programming AI would take over the world and make us slaves. And the others are saying, no, actually the AI will make more rational decisions and make our lives better. But anyway, this idea just popped in my head. And imagine if sentient beings with artificial intelligence who can program themselves were superheroes in the future. We live in a safer environment than before, with the perceived reality which seems terrifying. Imagine if such beings really existed. This movie warns us about that future. It warns us, but it doesn't really offer any alternative, probably because it is too complex to do so. And also, I'm sure that they don't want us to have the feeling we are being lectured. Besides, the movie is already long and the main audience are children. And there's another point. There's a small monologue by the screenslaver at one point in the movie, which I wish I remembered entirely, but it goes something like this: like you don't talk. A quote: "You don't talk. You watch talk shows. You don't play games. You watch game shows. We are hoping for better simulations without actually doing anything, and we are hoping for." And she even screensaver says even in this monologue that superheroes are somehow simulations of what we really want our lives to be. And we sort of experience the simulation through superheroes. So clearly, this is putting the emphasis on how much we depend on virtual experiences that technology offers us. Before it is revealed that Evelyn is screenslaver, there's a hint when Evelyn shares a drink with Ellen and tells her that people choose ease over quality every time. Just like our father, actually, who chose to call the superheroes instead of using the safe house. And also, I thought I didn't have anything bad to say about the movie, but when it comes to Evelyn, although she explains why she's doing what she does as the screenslaver, I don't remember, or maybe it was never mentioned. Oh, it was not clear. What she's going to do with the superheroes. Was she going to kill them altogether by mind controlling them, or I guess use them to terrorize the citizen and make the superheroes illegal again? Yeah, that point was, to be honest, maybe I don't remember, but it was not clear to me. But other than that, like, the movie is so relevant and so good. Again, something to think about was that I mean, it's too complex to grasp. Actually, it's the dinner scene in the motel in the beginning of towards the beginning of the movie, which takes place after the Incredibles get released from the police. Mr. and Mrs. Incredible argue over what to teach children. Actually, they are actually talking to the parents who brought their kids to the movie theater. They save the day even though superheroes are illegal. So, should you do what's right even if it is illegal? That is too big of a question to answer, and we do need to think about it. But I just thought it was a really interesting theme. Conclusion. I have heard a lot of argument about the immense amount of changes we are going through for the past 20 years. Some might even argue that maybe humans are not ready for technology. We feel that people are not using their time as humans to do what they like. Instead, they are too distracted by being impressed by what great things other people do. We can't suddenly stop putting a quota on the number of hours people spend on phones. Think of it as this way. Technology and everything which we associate with it is an experiment. And with or without technology, we shouldn't just take responsibility, but ownership with what we do with our time. For me, civilization itself is an ongoing experiment. People in the movie might look at what Elastigirl did to stop the train and say to yourself, I can't do that. I don't have superpowers. As an artist, I say that to myself all the time because I get to see drawings or people drawings or videos of people drawing of great artists all over the world. To be honest, they are not frightening but inspiring, especially if art is in your bones. Am I scared? Of course, but staying with that fear is not helping anyone. Instead, I try to create, and even the smallest praise gives me the boost to continue. And by continuing, I will get better, and I hope it gives way to a wonderful, cyclical relationship between encouragement and good art. If technology is power, you have access to it, more than the previous generations had. You need to find your goal in order to find yourself in this overwhelming information pool. Otherwise, everything will end up just being another distraction. If you haven't found your goal yet, talk to people around you and around the world. Put your ideas out there because you are the new media. Are there superheroes, titans, people better than you? Yes. But the world always needs perspectives. Hey everyone, thank you for watching or listening. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more videos and podcasts. My monthly webcomic series is online for free on Webtoons. Please check it out. Until I see you again on another video or podcast, this is Boris, the Movie Messenger, signing off.